What's going on, everybody? This is Island Hopper TV, and today we're going to show you the top 20 states in the USA. We're going to go all across this great land and show you the very best. As always, there will be timestamps below in the description so you can bounce around from state to state. First up is the Grand Canyon state of Arizona. With a population of 7.5 million people, Arizona is known for warm climates, the beautiful Grand Canyon, as you can see right here, the Sonoran Desert. Also, it has high country where you can be up over a mile high, so expect a lot of mountains. Great nightlife and entertainment in places like Scottsdale and Tucson. If you head over to the western part of the state, you'll end up along the Colorado River. You have Lake Havasu City here, also Yuma. So a very diverse state with many things to do. And I definitely would consider a trip out to Sedona, as well as Flagstaff. Now here we are in the great state of Montana, known for the big sky because the stars out here are amazing. Some of my favorite places are going to be Glacier National Park. With a population of 1.1 million people, Montana is one of the most sparsely populated states in the country. So if you're looking for great wide open spaces, lots of land, then Montana might be for you. It does get very cold in the winter with snow across the state, but in the summertime it's considered a getaway destination for many Americans. Popular small towns that people like to visit are Bozeman, Helena, Missoula, or even Billings. From the upper northwestern part of the country, we're headed back down south. This time we're in Texas. This is the second most populated state in the country with a population over 30 million people, known for its oil industry in places like Houston, also the Alamo in San Antonio, and then you have Dallas-Fort Worth, which is one of the mega cities of the United States. Austin, Texas being a popular city with hipsters and the youth because it's a college town. So a lot to do out here in Texas. Big state. That's why you always hear people joke around and say everything's bigger in Texas, mostly because the state is so huge. And this here is a look at the San Antonio Riverwalk, one of my favorite places to go in Texas, right next to that Alamo right there. Now here we are in Florida, the Sunshine State. With a population of 23 million people, it is the third most populated state. And here you're going to have the southern part of Florida, known as South Florida. You have Key West and the Florida Keys. You have Miami. And then you have the Florida Panhandle, known as the Emerald Coast. And then you have the Gulf Coast side where you have Tampa Bay. You also have Clearwater and some of those other very nice retirement communities. And then on the Atlantic side, you have Jacksonville, St. Augustine, one of the oldest settlements in the country. When people visit Florida, they like to try the seafood. Also, I do highly recommend going down to the Florida Keys if it is your first time to Florida. That's one of my favorite places that I do recommend. And just above Florida, you have Georgia, known as the Peach State, with a population of around 10 million people. You have Savannah along the coastline, and then you go inland up to Atlanta, which is considered the capital of the South, which is a vibrant metropolis. And then if you go out into the wilderness, you have the Chattahoochee River, which connects to Tennessee. So lots of forest areas around Georgia that are very beautiful. It's even considered a rainforest here. So if you get a chance to go out into the countryside in Georgia, you'll really enjoy it. There's also a college football hall of fame in Atlanta, along with a very large aquarium. And they also had the Olympics here, as many of you may remember, the 1992 Olympics. So you can walk around Olympic Park. Now we are going north of Georgia to North Carolina. With a population of 10.7 million people, it is considered a very geographically diverse state with the Appalachian Mountains in the inland interior towards the west. And then if you go out to the coastline, you have the Outer Banks, which is where the Kitty Hawk first flight was ever conducted. So you have a very unique state known for its barbecue. And then the big city of Charlotte, you also have Raleigh. One thing I really would like to say about North Carolina, it's known for its food. So do try some of the local cuisine while here. And North Carolina really has emerged as one of the top states. Speaking of top states, we're here in the most populated state of California with a population of around 40 million people. That's larger than the population of Australia and Canada. So you have San Diego in the south. Just above that, you're going to have Los Angeles. And then in the Bay Area, you have San Francisco. And many beautiful coastal towns along the coastline here in California, such as Monterey, Santa Cruz. You also have Pismo Beach, Carmel by the Sea. So many different areas in California to explore, as well as the redwoods in the north. And then the mountain range where Yosemite Kings Canyon is, called the Sierra Nevadas. And just above California in the Pacific Northwest, also known as the PNW, is Oregon, with a population of 4.2 million people, known for Mount Hood and several other large volcanoes that are possibly going to erupt at some point along Cascadia. Then you have beautiful coastal towns like Cannon Beach. Then you have the large city of Portland with a beautiful rose garden here. The state is nicknamed the Beaver State because of the American beaver that's seen up and down the rivers here. Portland is known for its microbreweries, so give those a try when you're in town. Try some of that coffee up here, and maybe even head over to Crater Lake. The best time to visit is probably the springtime, in my opinion. Now we're headed just one state up. This is Washington, right here in the PNW, a state with a population of just over 10 million people, known for Mount Rainier, Mount St. Helens, which erupted in the 1980s, the beautiful city of Seattle with the Space Needle and Puget Sound, also the San Juan Islands, and Olympic National Park. If you get a chance, try and take a ferry around Puget Sound. Seattle is known as a very tech innovative city in America, with Amazon being headquartered here, Boeing, Microsoft. So keep that in mind when you're up here. If you head over to Kirkland, you can see what's going on out there with all the innovation. Now we're headed out to the middle of the Pacific Ocean. This here is Hawaii, considered by many to be the best vacation state in all of the country, with islands like Kauai, Maui, Oahu, which is where Honolulu and Waikiki are. Then my favorite, which is the Big Island. They have an active volcano there, as well as the tallest mountain in the world from seafloor to summit, which is Mauna Kea, the world's largest active volcano in Mauna Loa. Lots to see and do in Hawaii, known for its beaches, jungles, rainforest, and different microclimates. And now from the Pacific Ocean, we're going to head north a bit. This here is Alaska, which is essentially the final frontier in America, the least densely populated state with a population of less than 1 million people. The capital is Juneau, but the largest city is Anchorage. Most people originate their travels there, and then they go out to the Kenai Peninsula, check out Kodiak, Alaska, maybe even go all the way to the north or head out for a fishing trip on the Bering Sea. Known for its wildlife sightings that you'll see grizzly bears, moose, elk, caribou, reindeer. You can even get reindeer sausage. Another interesting thing is Mount Denali, which is in Denali National Park. That's actually the tallest mountain in all of North America from the ground elevation to the summit. And if you go to the interior of Alaska, you can find the Northern Lights in Fairbanks, which can only be seen in the winter months. Now here we are in Tennessee, known for the Great Smoky Mountains. You have places like Memphis along the Mississippi River. You have Nashville, which is known for the Country Music Hall of Fame and America's most country music friendly city. You also have the Great Smoky Mountains, Gatlinburg, which I told you about previously, Pigeon Forge. Tennessee is really known for its beautiful wilderness. Next up, we're actually headed back out west again. This here is Utah, with a population of 3.3 million people, known for the Great Salt Lake and Salt Lake City, the largest city in the state. But then when you go south, you come across many different national parks like Zion National Park, Arches, Moab, Utah. You also have Canyonlands. Really a beautiful state, especially around those national parks. Also, guys, I would like to let you know we did make a top 100 best places to travel in the United States if you want to watch that video at the end. I will put a link in the end screen as well as a link down below in the actual description and comments. So definitely check that video out. Next up, we are actually headed to Colorado, known for the Rocky Mountains, with a population of 5.3 million people. This here is where Denver is located. Beautiful cities such as Colorado Springs, Boulder, and then in the southwest you have Durango, you have Ouray, you have Aspen and Telluride. For those of you who are into skiing, I would say no trip to Colorado is complete without actually venturing into the Great Rocky Mountains, because wow, it's spectacular up there. Most people originate those travel plans from Denver typically. Maybe even consider taking the train like an Amtrak. Also, guys, if you're enjoying this video, please do smash up the like button as we continue to show you around the United States. And a big thank you to all of our channel members and our subscribers who make these videos possible. Now here we are in Pennsylvania. This is actually the 5th largest state in the country with a population of 13 million people. With the city of the brotherly love in Philadelphia, the old capital of the United States. And then you have in the interior places like Pittsburgh, right there along the Three Rivers, but mainly the Allegheny and the Ohio River, which are very big rivers that connect America, actually. If you do get a chance to explore Philadelphia, you'll discover there is a rich history there, and check out the Liberty Bell and places where Benjamin Franklin would have walked also. And just across the river is going to be New Jersey. Now here we are in Wyoming. This is actually the 51st least populated state in the country with less than 600,000 people living here, but very famous for Yellowstone. There's also a popular town nearby called Jackson Hole, Wyoming, and then in between those two is the Grand Tetons. The eastern part of the state is sparsely populated. You'll find places like Cheyenne, Wyoming, or Cody. Not too much going on in the plains area of Wyoming, but if you're up in there in the Rockies that connects Colorado and Montana, very beautiful. I really enjoy walking around the geysers in Yellowstone because it is a super volcano after all. Now we're actually headed to Michigan here with a population of around 8 million people, with the big city being Detroit, but not the most beautiful popular area that you'll want to explore because that's going to be in northern Michigan. People also like to go to Ann Arbor. Located along the banks of Lake Michigan to the west, and then Lake Huron, Great Lakes, to the east. So lots of waterfront property out here in Michigan. Up next, here we are in the far northeastern part of the United States. This here is Maine in New England with a population of 1.4 million people, with the largest city being Portland. Lighthouses and beautiful coastline. There's many different islands that you can check out, like Kitty Bunkport area. And then people like to go up to the national park in Acadia, going inland to places like Presque Isle. A very beautiful, uninhabited, sparsely populated area here in Maine with beautiful wilderness. While you're in Maine, I highly recommend you try some of the lobster, also known as lobster, because fishing out here for lobster is very popular. Fishing in general in Maine is a common sport that you can do. Now we're actually headed to the state of New York, which is home to the largest city in the country of New York City, with a population of 20 million in the state. Check out places like Long Island, which is popular with very wealthy people. You also have Niagara Falls right there on the border with Canada. Probably one of the most spectacular waterfall features you'll see anywhere in the world. You have Rochester and Albany, another very beautiful state to explore. But of course, the golden goose out here in New York is going to be Manhattan. Now we're headed to Idaho, home to Boise. Again, another small state population with around 2 million people living here, the capital being Boise. Some popular areas that people go are going to be in the far north to Coeur d'Alene. I really enjoy Coeur d'Alene if you get a chance going up there. Very beautiful and peaceful in the summertime. Then you have Idaho Falls and several other waterfall areas along the Snake River that you can explore. And there you have it, folks. This here is the list of the top 20 states to visit in the United States. If you guys enjoyed this, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and watch our other videos, including the top 100 places in the USA, as well as the top 50 travel destinations around the world.